Just let it shine through. Just let your soul, baby, feeling oh so silky smooth. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow. So glow.
You're fired.
That means that we punched our ticket to go try to win a Super Bowl, and that's it. We got one game at a time, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you, every game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
You're fired.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. What up, Bills Mafia? Woo! I am feeling much better today than I was yesterday. Obviously, after the Bills lost yet again in the playoffs under head coach Sean McDermott. Wait a minute. Under former head coach Sean McDermott. Can we get an applause here? Can we please get an applause? Do I have an applause? I think I do. Yeah. It's about damn time. It's about damn time the Buffalo Bills moved on from Sean McDermott. Look, thank you, Sean. I appreciate your time. Appreciate your time and what you did. You helped this team get out. They were stuck in the mud for a long time. 17 years of just awful football. You definitely helped out. You helped the process, right? You got us from the dark into the light, but you could only get us so far, right? And that was my biggest knock. It's been 9 seasons. It was time to move on. It was time for a new voice, right? It was time for a new scheme, new philosophy, new everything, right? A new vision, right? And we're going to get it, right? We're going to get it. We will find out soon who our next head coach will be, but I am just happy. I am thrilled. They made the right decision. I know a lot of you guys wanted Brandon Beane also to be fired. I did not. Listen, Brandon Beane definitely has his flaws. He played a role definitely in some of the bad decision-making throughout the years, no doubt. Some of the bad draft picks, some of the bad free agent signings, no doubt. But you guys got to remember, this was McDermott's team. This was what McDermott wanted. This is his philosophy. This is his scheme. These are the type of players that he wanted Beane to go out and get. Now you're going to see a new head coach here with a new scheme, a new philosophy, everything, right? And you're going to see Brandon Beane do a much better job, and he's going to cater to that new head coach, which hopefully is an offensive-minded head coach. That's what I pray for, offensive-minded head coach, and we're going to get some talent here. We're going to fix that offense. Let's get to these comments real quick. I was live with Dan, and dude, Dan Mitchell also agrees the Bills needed to move on. He also agrees that McDermott was the puppet master here. Why do you think so many position coaches got up and left, right? McDermott liked to throw shade to other, coaches on this team and like to throw people under the bus. Well, I'm glad the Bagulas finally woke up and understood that it was time to move on. I did not think this was going to happen. But let's get to your chats. Bagulas suck. Keeping and promoting Bean. Honestly, it's the right decision, bro. I know you may not agree with it. It's the right decision. And I'll read that statement, by the way, by Terry Bagula. Spin, is it too soon for Tommy to be celebrating after a loss? No, it's not. This is a win, guys. You will find out very soon. This is a win. He got a promotion. He got to be... he's president of football operations now as well. As a matter of fact, I'll pull that up. Let me pull that up for you guys before I get to the chat. By the way, there's 75 in here right now. Man, I appreciate all y'all. Let's keep on building this channel, man. Let's keep this thing going, man. Give me 1 second. Let me find that statement by Terry Bagula. Give me 1 minute. I did have it pulled up, but I don't know where it went. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. Here it is. Okay. I got it. All right, let's see here. Share screen. Okay, here we go. Boy, really, it's not the biggest screen there, share. Let me see if I can get that thing. Nope, it won't let me. All right. Anyways, I'll read that to you guys. So, Sean has done an admirable job of leading our football team for the past 9 seasons, says owner Terry Bagula. But I feel we are in need of a new structure within our leadership to give this organization the best opportunity to make our team, to take our team to the next level. We owe that to our players and to Bills Mafia. Sean helped change the mindset of this organization and was instrumental in the Bills becoming a perennial playoff team. I respect all the work, loyalty, and attention to detail he showed for this team and the community. I wish Sean, Jamie, and his family all the best. Moving forward, Brandon Beane will now serve as the president of football operations / general manager of the Buffalo Bills. Brandon will oversee all facets of our football operation, including oversight of our coaching staff. I have full faith in and have witnessed Brandon's outstanding leadership style and confidence in his abilities to lead our organization. Bean will be leading the search for a new head coach and will be working directly with the Bagulas and Pete Gooley, who will now serve as president of business operations during the interview and hiring process. So that is it. I know you guys couldn't read it, so it's kind of a waste to even put it on the screen. I apologize. I didn't know it was that. Oh my God. So anyways, that is a statement from Terry Bagula. So yes, Brandon Beane also got a promotion at the same time that Sean McDermott got fired. You're going to see a different Brandon Beane moving forward. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see better drafts. You're going to see better free agencies coming in here. I really honestly believe McDermott controlled a lot that was going on behind the scenes, including Brandon Beane's decisions on drafting and free agency. So I'm excited. And right here, Sophie, I would absolutely love it if they got John Gruden. But I don't think it's gonna happen because I think John Gruden is blacklisted from the NFL, and I don't think an owner is going to go over the head of Roger Goodell, because owners work with Roger Goodell, right? That's they pay him the big bucks, right? And obviously, you guys know John Gruden is suing the NFL, so I would be shocked if an NFL team were to hire John Gruden. Now, John Gruden came out and said, like a week or so ago, said he definitely wants to coach. He wants to coach either NFL, college, whatever. He says he wants to get back in coaching. So the desire's there, obviously. I don't think it ever left him. So, dude, I would freak out if it was John Gruden. Absolutely. He would be my number one option without a doubt, right? Roll out the red carpet for John Gruden. No doubt about it. I'll be honest with you, Mike McCarthy is on the top of my list. As far as head coaches, I would love for Mike McCarthy to come here. There's no doubt about it. Cliff Kingsbury, for sure. offensive-minded head coach. I wouldn't mind Flores, though he's a defensive-minded head coach. I'm kind of leaning towards offensive-minded head coach. Mike Tomlin, once again, look, defensive-minded, but he has a pedigree, man. He has a Super Bowl championship, right? I would not mind him either. Guys, don't mention McDaniel, because no, I would not want Mike McDaniel here. As OC, sure, bring him on board. Bring him on board, right? We hire a head coach, and Mike McDaniel's still available, and he wants to be an offensive coordinator. Can you imagine him with Josh Allen? Sure, come on board. Head coach, no fucking way. Keep Mike McDaniel off that list. McDermott has finally say on all drafts and trades. Great fine. Yeah, he did have a final say on all drafts. It's a great firing, guys. 9 seasons in, not one Super Bowl, right? It was needed. The matter of fact, this should have happened a long time ago. Let's be real. This should have happened after the 13-second game. They gave him plenty of opportunity after 2021 to get shit right. He did not. He never improved as a head coach, right? We always talk about players, right? And how they can improve, right? How they take the next step forward. We always talk about players reaching their ceiling, right? Well, guess what? Sean McDermott reached the ceiling a long time ago. This was the best we're going to get out of Sean McDermott, right? And I'm not saying he was terrible, but there was no more growth for him as a head coach, right? He reached his ceiling, and he reached it a long time ago. And I thought he should have been fired a long time ago. And guys like Colin Cowherd was saying that for the past 2 or 3 years as well. You know, he respected Sean McDermott, but he knew the Bills needed it to move on. And so did I, and so did many others. There were some people that was holding on to Sean McDermott. Let's give him another year. Come on, man. He's a playoff coach. And those people finally started to realize after, 7 seasons, after 8 seasons, that, man, nothing's changing here, right? Nothing's happening. It's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, right? Same typical playoff losses, right? Nothing has changed. The defense has gotten worse throughout the years, right? We're talking about a defensive-minded head coach with a defense that has regressed year after year after year after year after year, right? Now, this defensive-minded head coach of ours has his hands in the offense when he can't even get the fucking defense right. How about fix your defense first before you even touch the offense, right? Because your defense is no good, but now you think you can make our offense good? Now you think you think what's best is for this offense to be slow, methodical, run first with a quarterback like Josh Allen? What are you nuts? Right? What are you, crazy? He turned this offense into dog shit. Let's be real. This offense wasn't meant for Josh Allen. Like, this offense was not fit for Josh Allen. Josh Allen just went with the flow. And thank God, I hope. By the way, the whole coaching staff is gone. I will be shocked if anyone returns. Right? The one guy I said I would, if we did happen to fire McDermott, I would like Cromer to return. Well, Cromer retired. Right? Cromer got the fuck out of town. Anyways, let's get to some of your chat before I fall too behind. That guy should have been our owner. Who, me? Yeah, man, I wish I was. I don't know if I'd be doing podcasts, though. I'll be on my yacht. Yeah. URC, they talk about Brian Daboll as being considered. Yeah, dude, there's no way. I would be shocked if Brian Daboll was our next head coach. Like, honestly, I would be shocked. But I'll say this, though. For me, the fact that they fired Sean McDermott now and quickly after that game, it almost tells me they have somebody in mind. Because you at least want to hire somebody that for sure, worst case scenario, get you to the playoffs, right? It does what Sean did, which is get you to a division game or an AFC championship game. You want at least that. You don't want it backfiring, right? And I don't think it will. I really don't. I think you could hire Rex fucking Ryan back, and this team will still be a playoff team. Let's be real. Like, if you guys really look at this team this year and the roster, right, compared to other rosters, we didn't have a lot going on, right? Let's be real. There wasn't a lot of playmakers. Come on now. It was Josh Allen. It's been Josh Allen. Josh Allen has carried this team for as much as he could for this many years. And to be honest with you, he's probably saved Sean McDermott's ass all these years. Okay, let's be real. All right, when we talk about this roster and what Sean's put together and this shitty-ass defense that he has here every single season, listen, Sean McDermott was stubborn as all hell. He did not want to change his scheme. He didn't want to change what type of players he wanted on his defense, right? We were the worst run defense for many, many seasons. Undersized defensive line, but this is what McDermott wanted, and this is what Bean went out and got for him, right? Let's be real. McDermott was the chef, right? And he was sending out Bean to get the ingredients. That's it. And he put that bullshit together, and that's what you got. And it's about damn time. And I'm very happy that Terry Bagula woke the fuck up and understood the problem wasn't Brandon Bean. The problem was Sean McDermott, who turned his ego, made his ego the main thing here, right? Like he is super had a major ego, threw everybody under the bus, right? It was never his fault, right? Coaching staff leaving on him, right? Him firing coaches, right? Position coaches. I'm glad. He never took accountability, ever. You guys want to talk about Allen, his bad game? Guess what? Allen has always taken accountability, even when he didn't need to. Did our head coach do that? No, he didn't. He pointed the finger elsewhere. I'm glad he's gone. And by the way, my bet is over. I do not have to get a McDermott tattoo. I do not have to get a McDermott tattoo. Trump would have fired Bean. Yo, Bean? No, Trump would have fired McDermott, dude. There's no way. He would have kept Bean around, trust me. And look, once again, I'm not saying Bean is perfect or has done a phenomenal job here. But I also feel like he was being controlled a lot by Sean McDermott, who hired him initially, who got him the job. McDermott, come on, man. You guys read that. If you didn't read it, go read it. That Dunn article, right, about Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott was very controlling. Sean McDermott, he had say. He had final say on this roster, right? Did Sean McDermott, didn't he go and tell Brandon Bean to go ahead and trade Wyatt Teller? Because by the way, he listened to Bobby Johnson, who was a terrible offensive line coach, right? What about 2017 when he had a chance to draft Pat Mahomes and he drafted Trey White instead? I love Trey White, but come on, man, it tells you everything you need to know. And don't tell me Doug Whaley was the reason why that happened, right? Doug Whaley was fired right after the draft. That was a Sean McDermott draft. And by the way, every single draft outside of 2018, when we went quarterback there, was defensive heavy. Defense. None of those players did jack squat here. Pretty much for the most part. There's a couple that's worked out, right? Love the Cole Bishop pick, right? Outside of that, who really has blossomed here? Ed Oliver? Nah, not really. Good player, but as he top 10 pick, does anyone say, wow, Ed Oliver, woo! You know, that's a top 10 player. No. They say he's a good player. Gregory Rousseau, I like him. I love him. You know, late first round pick, I get it. But once again, are we talking about, woo, Sean McDermott got that? Boy, Sean McDermott, look what he did to Gregory Rousseau, boy. Woo! That guy's phenomenal. Christian Bedford, good player. I like Christian Bedford. That was a good pick. But, guys, we're talking about since 2017. There's been fail after fail. These are McDermott guys who what he wanted. These are the guys he wanted on the defensive line. He wanted these small-ass defensive linemen. Right? We got ran on every single season. Worst run defense. Come on, these are the linebackers that he wanted. Safety turn linebacker, undersized linebackers, right? Out of position players. We wonder why guys are getting hurt. It was time to move on from McDermott, but I don't have the decision. But I don't love the decision to promote Bean. You know what, though? I'll say this. We'll find out. You get what I'm saying? We're going to find out real soon on this draft coming up, free agency coming up, because you're going to see a change, right? Because it's all about catering to your head coach. I promise you guys that. I know you guys don't really believe that. Maybe you think I'm bullshitting around. I promise you, this is how it works around the league, right? The GM's job is to cater to the head coach, right? The head coach has a vision, right? He has players that he wants in the building, right? He has a scheme. He wants players that fit his scheme, right? Once again, he also has a culture thing, right? Every coach right? So every head coach is heavily involved in what the GM does, meaning, you know, hey, I want this type of player. Hey, we're going to build the team for speed on offense. I want guys with, look at Mike McDaniel, right? And Greer, right? Greer did things for Mike McDaniel because Mike McDaniel wanted speed. So what did Greer do? Greer went out and got speed, free agency, speed, draft, speed. Like, that's how it works, right? So that's all Brandon Beane did. He went out and got the ingredients. The ingredients didn't work. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Brandon Beane was perfect. I think he has some flaws that he needs to correct. No doubt about it. But I think the person here that we should be pointing the finger at why we have failed in the playoffs has been Sean McDermott. That's plain and simple. Tommy was waiting years for you. Bro. Years. Spin. Years. I do got to ask you, Spin, because Spin, by the way, Spin has been dude, Spin, you've been great for this channel, man. You've been supporting this channel for a long time, so thank you so much, man. You're always here showing love. Even when you disagree with me on most of my takes. I want to know your opinion on this, because Spin for many years was, saying, no, the Bills should not fire Sean McDermott. You know, you do not fire Sean McDermott. You know, Sean McDermott is he's a good head coach. So I want to know your opinion, Spin. Was it time for the Bills to fire Sean McDermott? Like, after the season, what was your thoughts? Did you think that the Bills should have moved on? Or do you think the Bills, do you think Sean McDermott still deserved another year or two? What up? What up? Today feels better than yesterday. Abso-fucking-lutely. Come on, Bills Mafia. You got to admit, you're feeling a little bit better, right? Right? It sucks we're not in the playoffs, but you got to admit, but Terry Pegula made fans feel a little bit better today. And once again, I respect Sean McDermott, man. I thank him. I didn't think he was terrible, but this was needed. It was needed. Gruden is out. He said he is happy the Bills after this fine. Gruden is out, he said. Oh, okay, really? All right. I mean, I haven't really read any, but damn, that was quick. Where did he say he's out? I didn't even know he was into anything. I thought he just wanted to coach. So I'll have to read into that. I didn't read anything like that. We might actually have a freaking chance now. Absolutely, man. We might have yep, saw that. What we thought could not happen, happened. I am so excited for the future. Absolutely. And by the way, too, going into a new stadium, man, new head coach, right? It's not rinse and repeat, guys, right? We're not going to have to worry about that. Think about how exciting that's going to be, right? 2026 season, new stadium, new head coach, a new vision, right? That gets you amped up. That has to get you guys amped up, right? Let's fucking do this, man. But tell me where you read John Gruden said he's out. Like I would be shocked. Why that would be shocking. And one, why would he even say he's out when was there a source out there that said he was ever in? In talks with the Bills anyways? Let's see here. Where's Steve Lynn? Oh, he did get his wish. Yeah. Hey, congratulations, Steve Lynn. But I don't think that was, listen, that loss maybe it played a part of it, but that's not the main part. His time was up here in Buffalo, because even, I think, honestly, truthfully, guys, even if we get past the Broncos barely, I don't know if we beat the Patriots. Look, the truth is the truth, man. And I also think Pagula maybe looked around the NFL and looked at all these first-time head coaches and saw how great they did with their teams year one, right? Look at New England, right? I mean, they already won the division in year one with a new head coach there, right? Turned it around like that with a second-year quarterback. We got a guy sitting here 9 seasons, didn't even, got beat by a brand new, not brand new head coach, but a new head coach in New England, right? And a second-year quarterback bounced out by the playoffs on division round again. So I think he also looked around like, Ben Johnson, guys like that turn a team around like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm so proud of Terry Pagula. I am too, man. I am too, bro, that he had the fucking guts to stand up and do the right thing here. Bleacher Report says Dable is linked to the Bills job. I would be shocked if it was Brian Dable. I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. Now, I mean, could they? Sure, I guess. I mean, because of the relationship he had with Josh Allen, and, and he's an offensive-minded head coach, and he holds players accountable. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the only thing I would say this, if it's Brian Dable, which I would be surprised, he better bring himself in a really good defensive coordinator, because this defense needs a major a rehaul, right? It needs a major fixing, right? Right? It just does, right? A lot of things need to be fixed on that defense, right? That I feel like Sean McDermott just totally fucked up, right? Players like we got they got to retool, man, basically, and get a lot of guys out of here. Kubiak, come on down. An offensive head coach might be Daniel as the offensive coordinator, and we need to go and get a strong defensive-minded for the defensive coordinator. Yeah, look, I would love McDaniel as offensive coordinator, no doubt about it. But we'll find out. Brady can't be an owner and head coach on a different team. That is correct. I don't know. I didn't say Brady. Big bad baller Bean. I don't think he's bad, man. Being hit on 5 draft picks this year: Deion Walker, Max Harrison, Jackson Hawes, Dorian Strong, Hancock, 2 others, TJ Slater, and Landon Jackson. So that could be hits. See, I don't think Landon Jackson will be, to be honest with you, Trek. I think Landon Jackson, I just don't see it, man. He's an athletic freak, but he's also had now, I think it's his 3rd ACL. He had 2 in college, 1 now in the NFL. He's a raw player too, man. He's a lot of work to do, and he's already has injuries to his knee. We'll find out. I mean, he's on a rookie deal. We have time to, to see what way he can become, but I just don't see it right now. I'll be honest with you. Sanders, I think Sanders could be a good player in the NFL, but he's also a player that he needs to put the work in. You're right, and he needs a coach to help him, position coach, to really get the one-on-ones with, because he also had his flaws this season now, obviously. Hawes, I'm excited for. I think Hawes is going to be a good tight end in this league. As far as what he does best, which is blocking, and even his receiving wasn't terrible. Dorian Strong, I don't know yet, because he had that neck thing, and he never came back, and it sounded like it was almost career-ending the way McDermott was kind of hinting towards. Hancock could be good. He's going to be competing for that job in the offseason. Max Harrison, I like what I saw from him, but the injuries are concerning. Pretty quick, as far as getting hurt this season. He was hurt in the offseason, came back, got hurt again. That's never good. But we'll find out. Deion Walker, obviously, bro, that was one of our better draft picks as well. So there were some good picks. There were some questionable picks, no doubt about it. But if you look at that draft, look, all defense, right? I mean, crazy. I don't think they did this without a candidate in mind. Absolutely. That's my point. I think they have somebody in mind. There's no doubt about it. Terry Pegula's, like, once again, he's not going to make a decision like this without at least having somebody in mind that can, at least at minimum, do what Sean McDermott did and make this and get this team into the playoffs, right? If you get a terrible, god-awful coach, I mean, and by the way, he would have to be terrible for this team not to make the playoffs with Josh Allen. You've seen this team get into the playoffs with not the greatest roster because of Josh Allen, right? For me, right, this team is almost a 10-win team, just the fact because you got Josh Allen, right? So, you know, I don't know how a head coach can come here and fuck things up to a point where we're not a playoff team. That's just how I see it. But I do believe that there's somebody out there that they have in mind. Is there going to be a complete teardown of the defense? I think so. I do. And there's a lot of guys that are leaving. Like a lot of guys that were free agents. A lot of guys won't be back. There's a lot of guys that we question, are they coming back? Like, you know, Shaq Thompson came out and said he wants to be back. But will the new head coach want him back? So, yeah, there's a lot of questions, right? But there's a lot of guys leaving. There's a lot of vets leaving, right? Poyer, obviously. Trey White maybe won't return, right? Shaq Thompson, I just said. You know, we'll find out, right? What do they do? Do they move on from Ed Oliver? Like, you never know what's going to happen. I have no idea, you know, yet until we get the new coaching staff in here and see what his direction is for this team, right? Or what defensive coordinator he hires, right? A new DC might come in here and have a whole new, you know, scheme, which is possible, right? More than likely it is. It's not going to be the same scheme, actually, right? We're not going to probably have this same, you know, zone type 4-3 zone, soft zone defense, right? Bend don't break bullshit that we constantly do. We got a super chat coming in. Let me go ahead and hit that train horn for you real quick. Thank you so much, man, for that super chat. Let's see here, coming in. Okay, but is Bean going to get us receivers? Because this guy was complaining on the radio, and his ego got okay. See, I agree with that in a way. His, you know, and honestly, can you guys name another time where Sean McDermott kind of went off the rails and acted that way on any podcast? Right? He's done multiple. Right? Brandon Bean's usually a pretty cool, calm guy, fun guy. Like, up until that point, I've never seen that side of him. But, to be fair, throughout life, I've met great people that had their moments, that have their bad moments, right? That did things that were maybe uncharacteristic of them, right? Like, that snap, right? Like, we all have them. Don't act like... It's funny because we all act like, oh, my... I can't believe... Guys, we've been there before. We have had bad moments in life where we maybe said things we wish we didn't say. And I think this was a time that he fucked up, right? And I mean, there's not much more I can tell you about that. But do I think he's going to go and get receivers? Absolutely, I do. Listen, whatever head coach come here, bro, he's going to clean shit up. That's our hope, right? And our hope is that, honestly, we get a offensive-minded head coach. And if we don't, we at least get a very good OC that has a vision of what he wants, and it's not the same vision that McDermott wanted, which is that old-school mentality of offense that McDermott wanted to bring here. And that's really, honestly, too, why Dable and McDermott clashed, because McDermott's vision was not Dable's for the offense, right? It just they were like playing tug-of-war, right, with the offense. And once Dable left here, McDermott got his way, and he promoted within. He fired Dorsey because Dorsey was doing things kind of Dable's way a little bit. And then he got Brady, who was right on board with what McDermott wanted. He was the yes man. So I do believe you will see some changes here. No doubt about it. You're going to see a better Bean. I promise you guys. Tomlin, I agree with you in a sense that he's a defensive-minded head coach, but Tomlin at least has a winning pedigree as far as getting to a Super Bowl, man. Winning a Super Bowl. But do I want Tomlin? Honestly, no. He probably wouldn't be my top selection. Would I be angry if they hire Mike Tomlin? No, of course not. You know what I mean? Like, but is he on my, top 5 list? I'll have to go over head coaching. I'll have to go over all the free, available head coaches out there or coordinators that are available out there before I, probably get my top 5 of coaches. And me and Mikey tonight, we go live at 10. We'll probably do that, actually. Kind of go over a list of coaches that are available and who we would like to see here as the Bills' next head coach. Bean is looking like a snake. Coaches coach teams, GMs build teams. That's not true, bro. Bean put the team in Capel. That's actually not true, bro. So a lot of that. And what's going on, brother? I appreciate you being here, man. How you doing, Renaissance? Actually, that's wrong. I get what you're saying, and that's honestly, you would think that's how it goes. That's not how it goes. Every coach builds a team how they see, right? Meaning, when they get hired, they have a vision in mind, right? They got a scheme, right? If they're a defensive head coach, they have a scheme already. They have a style of player, the style of players that they want on the team, what kind of culture they want to bring to the team, and then the GM's responsibility is to match what their coach wants in the building, right? And also, the head coach is heavily involved in the drafting process, heavily involved. Matter of fact, if you go back and watch some of the Bills' videos of the breakdowns, you see Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane say that they're both heavily involved in the process of drafting and free agency. So, once again, the head coach is is the main chef, right? And the GM is the guy that goes out and gets the ingredients, right, for this chef to put the meal together, right? So you're kind of wrong at that sense. So Brandon Beane's he's not a snake, right? Like his job is to, like I said, get the ingredients, right? It's the coach's job to put those ingredients together and make a good dish. Sean McDermott fail, okay? Was Brandon Beane out there on the 13-second game? Did Brandon Beane go out there and tell Sean McDermott, let's play a soft zone defense here on 13 seconds and give up chunk yards to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce? Did he go out there and tell Sean McDermott not to get with his special teams coach after they scored the touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown? All right, and say, hey, what are we doing here on this on this kickoff? Are we kicking it out of bounds? Are we kicking it, in the field of play so more time goes off the clock? No, why do you think the special teams coach got fired, right? Sean McDermott threw him under the bus. So, as far as the WGR thing, look, man, once again, I'll be honest with you. Name a person that you know in life that hasn't had those moments where, they said something maybe they shouldn't have, or, they got offended and maybe they took it out of context. Like, we all are guilty of that. I'm not going to kill Brandon Beane for one incident. If this was an ongoing thing with Brandon Beane, where he went on radio shows and he went on podcasts or on with Pat McAfee, and he was a fucking asshole the whole time, and he was very defensive, then I would be like, bro, this guy's he's an asshole. That's just, you could tell, right? Like, he does this every podcast. He does this every radio show. Brandon Beane, up until that point, nobody could say Brandon Beane was an asshole, or he comes off as a cocky, arrogant asshole. Like, he had a bad moment. He did, right? And we all are guilty of that. So I'm not going to kill Brandon Beane on that, but I'll say this about Brandon Beane. He has work to do. He has his plate full, and he needs to look in the mirror and say, what can I do better as a GM, right? What can I fix, right? What do I got to do to be a better GM? And I think all of us in life can do that, right? So I really don't feel like he's a snake. I don't think it was him that went into, he snaked his way into Terry Bagula's office and was like, hey, you got to fire Sean McDermott. Like, if anything, Sean McDermott was throwing shade at Brandon Beane for most of the season, right? So I think it's the opposite way, right? So Let's find out. You know what I mean? Look, at this moment in time, you know, it is what it is. But let's see where Brandon Beane could take this team with a new head coach, right? Is that fair? Because I think it is. But you know what? Once again, we all have our opinions, brother. If you believe that Brandon Beane should be gone, if you believe he's a snake, then that's on you. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how to feel. I can only tell you how I feel and how I see things. McDermott has been better than Tomlin since he's been the coach, but he's never won. Who cares about that? Do I give a fuck about that? What do I care about that? What's the goal, man? The goal is to win a Super Bowl. Right? When we talk about head coaches, we talk about any coach throughout the history of sports. I don't give a fuck how good you've been as a head coach. If we're all lining coaches up here and they're putting their hands up with Super Bowl rings, and you got Schottenheimer, you know, rest in peace, who's putting up his hand, he has nothing to show for. Sean McDermott putting up his hand, he has nothing to show for. I could give a fuck about what you've done. Don't care about that. What's the end result? I want a Super Bowl. You've been here 9 years. Now, look, man, if we're talking about Sean McDermott, this is his 3rd year, 4th year. Okay. Even 5th year, I say, yeah, you know what? Give him some more time. It's only been 4 seasons. It's only been 5 seasons. But guys, man, dude, after the 6th season, I'm like, dude, it's time to move on. Like, I don't see the growth in this team. I don't see any difference. I see a rinse and repeat from this head coach. I see also him throwing shade to other, you know, other position coaches. I see him pointing the finger elsewhere. He never took accountability for anything. He never took accountability for the 13 seconds. Matter of fact, he never really talked about it. And I don't care where McDermott ends up. Could give 2 shits where McDermott ends up. I think he'll get a head coaching job. I don't think he's a terrible head coach. I think if you're, you know where I could see, you know where a good place would be for him to be hired? And I don't know if Cleveland hired anyone yet. But I think Cleveland would be a perfect place for Sean McDermott. Guys, let me know. Did the Browns hire a head coach yet? Because I think that if you want to, you're talking about a rebuild because they're a mess. And I think Sean McDermott, the one thing he did well, he knew how to clean up messes. I'll give him that. You know what I mean? And I think Cleveland Browns need a coach like Sean McDermott to clean up that mess. Is that fair? I think that's a perfect I think that's a perfect place for Sean McDermott to wind up going. The fucking Cleveland Browns. Like, honestly, that fits him. Tell me I'm wrong. I think it's a perfect spot for him. Run heavy, cold. You know, he's used to the cold anyways, right? He could do what he wants there. By the way, that's a good defense. He has defensive players already there. Like, dude, that's his spot, right? They are a defensive team. I'm just saying. And they got issues with personnel, right? They got a culture issue there. Sean McDermott's, he's going to go there and clean that up. Like, I think that would be a perfect fit. Tommy dodged the ink. Yeah, Scott, what's going on? I didn't dodge shit. Guys, I put up that bet for a reason. Right? I didn't dodge nothing. 46 dropbacks, 0 sacks. The defensive scheme philosophy had to change. I didn't want the man to lose the job, however. Yeah, but dude, after 9 seasons, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real here, man. You got to eventually move on. You can't keep doing a rinse and repeat thing, guys. Oh no, bring McDean back. We need time to get the tramp stamp. That ain't happening, brother. Pagulisa McDermott did an admirable job, not a fantastic, terrific, and he is 100% right about that, and I agree. I think he did a good job, but at the end of the day, man, how much longer are you going to go on with a head coach that can't get you to the promised land, right? Let's be real. And I rather us make that change now while Allen is still in his prime rather than just continuing on hoping and praying that Sean McDermott figures shit out. Like that, guys, the change had to been made, and it was made. Yes, exactly. Bean is always, yes, 100%. McDermott builds this roster, not Bean. Yes, that is correct. Or he was a big part of this roster build. I was shocked McDermott got fired. I am too. I'm not gonna lie. Like I couldn't believe it. I woke up this morning. I'm like, what? No, I think I got a notification from my buddy actually. He was like, congratulations. And I swear to God, when he sent me that, I'm like, this has to be fake, right? This is not the real Adam Schefter. I clicked. I had to make sure. I clicked the profile. I'm like, holy shit, that's the real Adam Schefter. This is really real. And dude, like, bro, guys, you don't understand. Like, I woke up like, just like, oh, I gotta do a podcast today and talk about fucking McDermott. And now we're gonna go into 2026 with McDermott again. And man, do I feel so much better. Like, honestly, guys, I was like, oh, that playoff loss. I was, not that, look, I'm kind of used to these losses now, but I was a little down. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little upset, but I'm feeling so much better. I really am, dude. Watch the Bills hire Brady as head coach. Dude, I would be furious. They better not. They better not, bro. And I don't think Brandon Beane is going to do that. Remember, on that letter that statement that Terry Pegula put out, obviously Brandon Beane is going to lead the coaching search. So he's going to be main lead, and I trust Brandon Beane will find the right guy, and it's not going to be that guy. Let me hit that train for you real quick. Hey, thank you so much, Triggs. Watch Bills hire as Brady as head coach. Nah, bro. I don't think so. I think, matter of fact, I don't think I would be shocked if anyone returns from this coaching staff. I think they're all gone, right? I think every single guy on this staff is gone. Like, the only guy that maybe would have stuck around or I would have liked seeing stick around would have been Cromer. And Cromer retired. So, no, man, whatever coach is going to be hired here is going to want to bring his own staff. He's going to pick his own offense coordinator, bring his own defense coordinator. It's going to be a whole, basically just everything different, man. It's going to be a different scheme, different mindset. Everything's going to change, man. So, yeah, I would be shocked if anyone returns, man. And that's how it works. That's how it works around the NFL. Very rare do coaches return or coaching staff returns with a new head coach, right? It's very rare. Trey White says he's gone. McD was the only. Okay, well, Trey. Hey, man. All right, man. Look, appreciate you. Appreciate your time here. If you feel that way, you feel that way. I mean, whatever, dude. I mean, I appreciate you. Appreciate your last season here. You did good, man. But cool, man. All right, whatever. Bean had multiple chances to get McDermott the players to get in the show. Wrong guy got fired. See, I disagree, Miss Chewy. These are McDermott's players. These are what McDermott wanted. Did McDermott, did Bean create the defensive scheme? Did Bean want a lighter defensive line? No. Right? This is what McDermott wanted. Don't come on now. Let's be real here. Who wanted the offense to run this way? That was McDermott. Matter of fact, who gave Stephon Diggs an extension? Brandon Beane. Who wanted Stephon Diggs out of here? Sean McDermott. Let's be real. Our best player on offense, offensive weapon, with Josh Allen, our best playmaker, right, at that time, gets an extension, was here to stay, and Sean McDermott it didn't get along with him and wanted to move on from him. Come on, man. Come on now. Well, let's be real here. I mean, look, think what you want to think, but you know what? You're going to see a different Bean draft. You're going to see different free agency here. You're going to see a whole a different outlook on this team. I promise you. I promise you. And you know what? Our owner obviously feels the same way. He promoted him, right? Not only did he not fire Brandon Beane, he promoted Brandon Beane, right? He did the right thing. He did the absolutely right thing, right? That Tyler Dunn article, I promise you, most of it was accurate. right? That wasn't a Brandon Bean article, right? I mean, what have we all listen, outside of the WGR meltdown that Brandon Bean had, which, by the way, we all have had them in life. What have you heard about Brandon Bean, outside of that? Like, have you heard anything, like, negative? No. Matter of fact, Brandon Bean's been very good as far as relations with, having good relations with media, with, going on podcasts or going on Pat McAfee. He's been a great guy, right? There's not a lot of bad things I've heard about Brandon Bean. I can't say the same thing about Sean McDermott. There's been so many bad things that came out about Sean McDermott from former players, right, to coaches leaving. Chad Hall went up and left, and coach got the same position in Jacksonville. He wanted the hell out. Brian Dable and Sean McDermott hated each other. Leslie Frazier basically got fired. Come on, man. What's about ego? I didn't think he had the stones either, man. I really didn't. I would love to see Belichick as coach. That would be unbelievable. Now, I don't know if man, it's hard to say, man, if he still has it or not. But dude, he is the best coach ever, right? To do it. So it'd be tough to say no to that, right? You get yourself an OC like Dable or even McDaniel, right? Like, yeah, that would be an interesting thing. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I haven't heard anything about Belichick, though, so that's why I really haven't mentioned Belichick. But, yeah, anyone thinks the majority of roster construction wasn't McDermott's Let's Play Poker? Exactly. I mean, since 2017, do I have to remind you about the 2017 draft? Do you really think Doug Whaley was behind that draft? That was Sean McDermott's draft. What do you think he went with first, guys? A defensive player. Oh, whoa. It's shocking. He passed on Patrick Mahomes for Trey White. Look, I like Trey White. Trey White was damn good for a period of time here, right? But do I have to remind you he passed up on Patrick Mahomes for Trey White? Right? Come on. Guys, do I have to remind you that most of our drafts have been defensive heavy drafts? Defense. What has that gotten us, guys? Tell me. What has that gotten us? Nowhere. A bad defense. Right? Come on, man. You guys are killing me, man. This is the reality of it. You're gonna see you're gonna see way different drafts, man. I promise you, way different. Belichick and his girlfriend need to be banished from history. Dude, Gruden would be absolutely my number one by far, without a doubt, dude. That roll out the fucking red carpet for Sean Gruden. Honestly, if I'm Terry Bagula, I am giving him an offer he can't refuse. But unfortunately, I think he's blacklisted from the NFL, and I don't think any owner is going to touch John Gruden. I just don't. I don't see it happening. Somebody said earlier, John Gruden said he said he wouldn't want to coach here, or good luck to the Bills. Like I find that very hard to believe. John Gruden. Or any head coach, let's be real, any available coach would be like, nah, I'm good, with coaching the Bills and Josh Allen. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'd rather go coach somewhere. Like, what, dude? I would be shocked if somebody said that. Matter of fact, let me see here. I'm just curious. Let's see here. This my sort of I'm trying to pull up to see if anyone has mentioned anything about John Gruden saying that no thank you if the Bills were to come knocking. I see nothing like that. So whoever said that in the chat, I forget who did, let me know where you saw that. All right, you got another super chat coming in. Let me go ahead and hit that super chat. Give me 1 second. You know how I do, man. My dude, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see what you got saying here. Let's get DJ Moore, like I said yesterday. You know what? Let's do this first. Let's get a head coach first. But I agree with you. We need talent, and he's a talented receiver. But let's start with the coach, right? Let's get the head coach first. And we'll build around what the head coach wants, for this team. I do have another super chat coming in. Let's see here. I think I already got to that one, JK. So I apologize. I think I did do that one already. All right, let's see here. I already saw that. I'm catching up on all y'all. Hey, my co-host is in the building, Mr. Mikey. If y'all don't know, that's the Apex man. Right there. Right there. Right there. That's Mr. Mikey chiming in from work, sneaking on his phone to be on the Mafia Sports Report podcast real quick. I've been saying it all year. And everyone put the roster issues on Bean. McDermott has final say on the 53. Now you know why it was McDermott and not Bean. And Mikey is absolutely correct. And this is what we've been saying and telling you guys, really honestly, since day one, right? McDermott had final say. This was his roster. This was his scheme. This was his vision. This is ultimately what he wanted. What you saw on the field was exactly what McDermott wanted, right? And once again, Bean was the guy going out and getting the ingredients. That's it. Came to from Dan's channel. Who is your top 3 choices? Hey, what's going on, Meg? Appreciate you giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much. So my top 3, like I said on his channel, honestly, number 1, and I don't think it's going to happen, would be John Gruden, right? Like, by far. I don't think it's going to happen, so I'll kind of put him to the side because I think that's just a pipe dream for me. I don't think anyone's going to hire John Gruden because of the lawsuit he has in the NFL. Honestly, you want my real honest, and I think a lot of people don't want this, Mike McCarthy. I think Mike McCarthy would be my top candidate for this job. Proven winner, won a Super Bowl, offensive-minded, could come here and clean things up. He's a winning head coach. A player coach as well. I think he would fit perfectly here. All he has to do is get himself a good coaching staff, right? Get yourself a good defense coordinator, and I think he would do an excellent job here. Kingsbury would probably be my second choice, to be honest with you. And then I would probably go, man, I tell you what, I will say, Flores is interesting. I'm not going to lie. Kubiak is also another guy. So I would go, I would go McCarthy. I would go, man. Kingsbury. McCarthy, Kingsbury. It's tough, man. Kubiak probably. And then Flores. Would round it out. But look, people are mentioning in the chat Bill Belichick. Like, yeah, he's another guy, of course. Mike Tomlin. Would I hate Mike Tomlin coming here? No. Right? Like, look, anyone for me that has a championship ring on their finger that has proven that they can get the job done, I would absolutely welcome it here in Buffalo. Absolutely. So yeah, that's where I'm going with my top ones, as far as me, choosing who I would like to see here. So I appreciate you, by the way, coming here and giving me an opportunity, man. Thank you so much. All right, we got a super chat here. I didn't say anything, but I still hit that Bills train award. Thank you for the support and the love. Let me go ahead and hit that. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let me see if you made a mistake there. Maybe you put another comment. Let me see here. Let's see here. Oh, you did. Okay, here we go. And yeah, you know what? Because you did too. I gotta hit you. You know how it is. You know the rules here, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, here we go. Coming in saying, will Bean get a true number one receiver? Yes, I do. Honestly, I don't know. I can't answer that right now. I can't answer that because we don't have a head coach. And I don't know what the vision is of the new head coach. And that's going to tell me a lot. Because, one, is he going to be an offensive-minded head coach? That's one. Two, if he's not, and let's say we go defense, let's say it's Flores or something. Who's going to be the offense coordinator, right? What's the vision of this team, right? So, yeah, I can't really say who it's going to, who I necessarily want, but I will say this. It doesn't matter in hindsight. They need a true number one. I think that whole game they played over the last 2 seasons where they felt like they didn't need a number one, that it wasn't necessary to have a go-to receiver. I think that backfired really bad. And by the way, that wasn't Bean that made that decision. Bean gave Stephon Diggs his extension. That was a McDermott issue. That was McDermott saying, we don't need a number one, right? We can work. We don't need players like that, right? Not with the style of offense that we're going to have here. And it backfired. I love the Death Row hoodie. Thank you, Christy. Appreciate that. Yeah, there's not many like this. There's a lot of people have the one that's purple, which I'm like, I just don't get the purple one. But losing Cromer is really shitty. It is, man. That's a big loss. I don't, they better get themselves a whatever coach comes in here and builds that coaching staff. I hope he brings along a very good offensive line coach, because that's one thing that I'll say Sean McDermott did right here as well. He finally brought in a position coach that actually knew what the fuck he was doing. Because a lot of the coaches that Sean McDermott brung here after Dable left, after Chad Hall basically quit, after Leslie Frazier basically got fired, we're all promoted within. We're all Sean McDermott guys. He didn't go outside and try to go and get the best DC that was available or the best OC that was available. He wanted to control his puppets, and that's exactly what he did for many years now. And that puppet master is no longer here. So, yeah, I just cannot wait for the new coach and whatever coaching staff he brings. I just hope, though, that he does get himself a good offensive line coach for sure, because that made a huge difference in our run game as well and pass protection. Yeah, and I think too with Josh Allen, the way look, man, we've seen Josh Allen. We've seen Josh Allen upset, right? But we've never seen Josh Allen that upset. And I don't know if that necessarily played a big part of why Sean McDermott got fired, but it might have been. It might have played some part of it for sure. You're seeing your franchise quarterback, a guy that leaves everything out on the field, blood, sweat, tears, carries this team, right? For pretty much since he's been a rookie, right? He had all the weight on his back, right? On this team, right? He did everything he can, you know what I mean? And it still wasn't good enough, because the NFL is the ultimate team sport. And if your head coach fails at building a defense that can actually step up when you're having a bad game and actually, get you the win, right? have your back, basically. It never happened in Buffalo with Josh Allen, right? And then, of course, with this new offensive scheme that McDermott wanted here, it didn't fit Josh Allen, right? And things were just not going well. Let's be real. And I'm sure Josh Allen feels terrible that Sean McDermott got fired. Matter of fact, Josh Allen felt terrible when Ken Dorsey got fired, right? You guys saw that presser. So, yeah, he's not going to feel great about this, but he's going to move on. And whatever new coach comes in here, Josh Allen's going to get behind, right? Of course he is. That's what Josh Allen does. And hopefully the next head coach that comes here understands how special Josh Allen is and builds around your franchise quarterback. That's what you got to do. You have a guy that's special, right, in your locker room. And he's a quarterback, right? Franchise elite quarterback. You build around that guy. You don't just avoid him and concentrate on your shit-ass defense. And that's what Sean McDermott did for many years. Oh, Josh Allen's fine. He's special. He'll figure it out. He doesn't need much to get it done. Let's concentrate here. And it backfired, and it didn't do any help for Josh Allen. And yeah, things got to change. Oh, I'm feeling great, Weston. Feeling great. I did ask if Josh was going to contemplate his career like Joe Burrow did, and he made us wonder after his motion. He was just emotional, man. He's not a quitter. I don't think that was the case. I honestly just think Josh cares that much, cares about his teammates that much. He cares about the city of Buffalo that much. He loves football, right? It was emotional for him, and I get it. And he didn't play his best game, right? And he holds that, he holds that to his chest. You know what I mean? So I had no problem with him being emotional. And his teammates were emotional because they understand what Josh means for this team. He never throws anybody under the bus, even when they should. A lot of teammates should be thrown under the bus, right? Because a lot of teammates haven't helped Josh Allen necessarily out the way they should. But he's never done that. He's taken all the hits, even when he shouldn't have. And I respect the hell out of Josh Allen for that. He deserves better. And you guys know that. He deserves better. Right? I don't give a fuck about the money. I don't give a shit about what he's making. He's not this guy that's getting paid $50 and is going out there cocky, arrogant, not giving a fuck after losses. Like, is that what you want? The guy is earning every single bit of that contract. He's putting it out on the line. Guys, name another quarterback that is putting his body on the line like Josh Allen does week in, week out. Come on, man. Let's be real here. Right? He earns every single bit of that money, man. That doesn't mean he should get all the criticism in the world because he gets paid. He deserves that pay. The guy's a fucking warrior. And then if people want to fucking talk down to him, talk bad about him because he loses a game, that's an ultimate team sport game that everybody has to do their job, but everybody wants to point the finger at Allen. Oh, I can't believe Allen made mistakes. Oh my God, he's terrible. It's all on Allen. Guys, it upsets me. It really makes me a little angry when our fan base acts like that towards a guy that gives everything he has for this team week in, week out, puts his body on the line like none other. I've never seen a quarterback do what he does, put his body on the line, puts his heart, everything he has into a football game to get the win. And y'all want to fucking act like this guy's a bum. Like he can't have a bad game. He has to be perfect. It just, honestly, it like, I don't get mad often. I don't get offended often. You know what I mean? But that offends me. That makes me mad. I'm going to absolutely stick up for Josh Allen when in times like this. It's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit that people act like that. Like we could do better without Allen. Go kick rocks with that fucking attitude. And that doesn't mean we can't criticize his play. Of course, he criticizes himself. He knows that he played bad. He knows that he made mistakes. What do you want? Like, what do these people want that's coming out here like, oh, fucking Allen, so, what do you want? He's admitting this. He admits it when he's not even in the wrong that he could have played better. It's disgusting. Like, we could do better without him. It's a fucking joke. He has no help. I mean, what are we not seeing here? All right, I gotta calm down before I fucking lose my mind. It's crazy to me. Honestly, it's fucking wild to me that fans act like that. When you got a special player like that, once again, it's not a guy that's just out there collecting a check, man. Right? He's earning it. He's fucking putting everything he has on the line out there, and y'all bashing him. It's mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling. With by the way, a bullshit ass offensive coordinator who was predictable, who didn't understand his receiver room at all. He did not help the cause at all. Sean McDermott as head coach, who didn't help at all with his defense when they needed to step up and make something happen. But we want to point the finger at the one guy who gets us to the playoffs every year. Oh, he's the problem. That's the problem. It's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke, man. Oh, my God. All right, I'm done with my rant, man. Golly, man. If Andrew was here for 9 years instead of KC, would Bills have won? Yes. Fuck yes. Are you kidding me? If Josh Allen goes to Kansas City, he has multiple Super Bowls. Come on, man. Yes. Fuck yes. Are we really gonna? Yes. The fans talking like that could never in their life do what Josh Allen's doing. Absolutely, Christy, and including national media who also do the same thing. And that's why, honestly, guys, I really try my best not to even watch any of those clowns in the national sports media, because they're all fucking bullshitters. They're all clickbait assholes who, and a lot of them, and shame on them, are former players who bitched at when they were playing football about people talking about their play. And now they get the same role, and now they're falling into the same line, right? Now they're doing the same bullshit, right? It's crazy to me. Oh, Allen can't get the job done. Allen terrible again. Allen, guys, what? He's one of the best playoff quarterbacks of all time, statistically. He's put up wonderful, great numbers. Record-setting numbers. And we're going to sit here and complain about a game? A bad moment that he had? Whoa, can't have bad. Nope, got to be perfect. Oh, my God. It's fucking crazy, bro. Mike McCarthy, absolutely. And they should. Tommy has never done ranting. Has just gotten to another rant. Yeah! Love Allen. Absolutely. National media are clowns. Yep. Lamar has no help either. That's why they fired Harbaugh. Maybe not. Well, see, Christy, I kind of disagree a little bit with that. A little. He had Mark Andrews, who was one of the better tight ends in the NFL. Josh Allen's never had one of the better tight ends in the NFL. Kincaid, when healthy, is a good tight end. But once again, he can never stay healthy. So let's be real there. Mark Andrews is probably a top 5 tight end, right? Let's be honest. Zay Flowers is not no bum-ass receiver. He's a good receiver. Can we be real here? Derrick Henry is a one of one, right? He's an absolute dog of a running back. Let's be honest here, right? Like, he's had help, right? I'm not saying he can't get more help, but he's had more help than Josh Allen. Let's be honest, right? Josh has The best he's had is Stephon Diggs, and who was really good, but they moved on from Stephon Diggs, 2 years ago, right? And have never replaced him with anyone, right? And yeah, so I don't necessarily believe that. I do think he's had weapons there to work with, and they also got him D-Hop, and yeah, D-Hop wasn't the D-Hop of old, but D-Hop was still a reliable target. I would have loved D-Hop here, right? So, but once again, can they do better for him? Of course they can. Of course they can. No doubt about it. But I don't think they're on the same level as far as that, right? I just don't. But I get your point, Christy. I do. It's all the above, bro. Lost the turnover game, BS penalty. Yeah, absolutely. Look, sprinkle on the referees' bullshit calls, no calls. By the way, I've watched that replay of the Cooks no catch, whatever you want to call it, interception. Bro, that was a catch. I don't give a flying fuck what the NFL says, what the ref says, what if someone disagrees with me. I looked at that play over and over and over. I put it in slow motion. I did frames. Guys, I went over that play on on film review. I went over everything. That was a catch. He had control of the ball. Okay? Took a step. He still had control of the ball. His knee hit the ground with the player on top of him, touching him. Right there, you're down because he has possession. He never lost possession at that point. Then his body hit the ground, still had possession. Go look at the film. Go look. You could slow it up. You'd never see the ball move ever. Then as he hit the ground, the player then is on top of him with the ball still in his hand. At that point, it's a 50-50. Both hands are on. The defensive player has the hands of the ball. Offensive player has the hands of the ball. At that point, even. Guess what? In NFL rules, the offensive player wins that. That ball is rewarded to the offensive player, right? A 50-50. When both players have the. Then, as the defensive player rolls over, he snags the ball away from Brandon Cooks, and they call an interception. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible call by the officiating. I'm sorry, that was awful. Okay, and that goes back to the year prior with Xavier Worthy against the Buffalo Bills. Had the same fucking play happen, and it was even worse because the ball hit the fucking ground, and they gave it a catch. They called it a catch. And then last night, same thing happened in the Rams game. Same fucking thing with Devontae Adams. Same play. Same fucking play. They called it a catch. They called it a catch. Come on, man. Do your fucking job, NFL. I can't stand that, man. You have all these replays. You have all this available. You have a booth. You have officiating all over the place that can chime down and say, nah, man. No, you got it wrong. You have it wrong. That's a fucking catch. And the XFL does it right. And I'll tell you why they did it right when they were around. When they did these replays, they showed the fans, they show people at home, the booth, and what these officials upstairs that are ruling, what they are seeing. And they're telling you, okay, they're slowing it down, they're looking at everything, they're telling you exactly what they see. And I'll accept that more than not knowing what they're really looking at. It is bullshit, right? I'm not saying that's the main reason we lost that game, but boy, you talk about a bullshit-ass call, that's one of the biggest bullshit calls ever. And it seems like the Buffalo Bills are constantly in that category of bullshit calls, of shit happening against them. It's sickening. Let me get a drink here. Coca-Cola. I love Coca-Cola. I'm hooked on Coca-Cola. That's why I'm so fat. You may not agree with this, Tommy. Lamar has No, I think I read that. I did. I'm so behind in the chat. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry, guys. Got a super chat here. Let me hit that train horn. No, I don't. And I'm sure Josh Allen feels bad about it. You know what I mean? Like, look, Allen's a good dude, bro. I don't think Allen went into Terry Pegula's office or talked privately with Brandon Beane, was like, we got to fire Sean McDermott. Like, no, man. Like, I'm sure they had a good relationship. You know what I mean? I'm sure he cared about Sean McDermott. I mean, look, Trey White, somebody put in the chat, I don't know if it's true, but Trey White said he won't be back because Sean McDermott won't be back. So, yeah, there's going to be players that are going to miss Sean McDermott. They have a history with Sean McDermott. Players like Deion Dawkins. You know what I mean? Like, players that have been here a long time have a history with your coach. You know what I mean? It's almost like family when you're with somebody that long, right? 9 years, a long time, right? Some of these players have been here for a long time. So, I get it. Yeah, but no, I don't think he knew it was coming. I don't. Look, he's going to take it when they interview Josh Allen, which I'm sure they will. He's gonna say, I feel bad. I feel like it's my fault. He said that about Ken Dorsey. If you guys go back, watch Ken Dorsey. When Ken Dorsey got fired, Allen had his press conference. They asked them about Ken Dorsey's firing. Allen kind of put the blame on himself a little bit there, of course, because that's what Allen does. He's going to say the same thing here. I wish, things would have been different. I wish I would have played better. I feel like I'm partly to blame. Like, he's going to put a little bit of this firing on himself. I promise you. He did it with Dorsey. He's going to do it. He's going to do it again. But just like with Dorsey, when they moved on and got Brady, Allen's going to get right on board like he did with Brady, right? He's going to say good things about the next head coach, right? When the next head coach comes here, he's going to do his presser. He's going to talk to Josh, which, of course, he is. That's probably going to be the first phone call. Whatever head coach gets hired here, I promise you, the first phone call he's going to make is to Josh Allen. Hey, Josh, what's going on? Just got hired. Whatever the conversation you're going to have, and they're going to get off, the head coach is going to make sure to get off to a good start with Josh Allen, right? And Josh Allen's going to get on board with whatever this head coach, whatever this vision is of the next head coach, and is going to stand behind him. So he'll move on from this. But no, I don't think he knew it was coming. Bills have to beat the refs too. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. XFL doesn't have any money on the line. Yeah, exactly. And that's why they'll never do it. And I'm with you. But I wish the NFL would. You get what I'm saying? I wish the NFL would take us into that, into that booth and see what the upstairs officiating crew is saying about the call. Because I think we deserve it as fans to know exactly what they're seeing, why they're calling it the way they're calling it. And then, you know what? I'll have to live with that. I'll have to respect that. But for us, not knowing what's going on most of the time with these fucking refs, when they get, they said, they'll never explain why did this, whoever said to them down, in their ears, change the call or do this, or no, the ball should be placed here. You guys see it. After further review, the runner was short. Like, all we're seeing is what, the national TV broadcast is showing us, or what Romo's saying, or Brady, or whoever's commentating, right? Or, the ref that they hire for the TV broadcast is telling us, I think they got it wrong, or I think they got it right, or, they don't tell us who's really overseeing the refs, right? Tommy, UFL still does the ref thing. Oh, do they? Okay. It's faster and shows us how rigged NFL is. See, I don't watch UFL. I'm just going on what I remember on the XFL. But if they still do that, good for them. Good for them. Because I think that's the right thing to do. I looked at the holding play in the end zone before the Cook catch, which would have been negated that play anyways. There wasn't a holding call on that play. There was no flag on that play. That's incorrect. I don't recall that at all. There was no penalty at all on that play, actually. Are you talking about, now there was a penalty on the third down with Keon Coleman dropping the fucking touchdown. But it was a holding on that, but I think you're wrong. I don't recall a penalty at all there. Because that, if it was, we wouldn't be talking about that today. It was a catch, but knowing how the NFL feels about Buffalo, I knew they wouldn't make the right call. Wish we had put ourselves in that predicament. I agree. In the NFL, it's about winning what you have done for me. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you too. It happened in the Patriots game too. Same as that football, called it back as no fumble. See? So I mean, I don't get it. I don't know what a catch is anymore. What's not a catch? It's crazy. I guess it just depends on what officiating crew's out there. I guess. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Are they going to change the offense that Josh has been in his entire career? You think this is the same spin? You think this is the same offense as he's been in his entire career? No, it hasn't. Spin. Stop. What are you talking about? Brian Dable's offensive scheme was way different than Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey's in way different than Joe Brady's scheme. Way different, dude. What are you talking about? And that kind of proves to me, too, that Allen can kind of, it doesn't matter what scheme you bring, he's still going to be effective, right? He's still going to lead that offense, right? It may not suit him well, but he'll figure it out because that's what he does. But let's be real. Josh Allen's best days offensively were with Brian Dable's offense, right? And he also has better talent surrounding him. Ken Dorsey kind of piggybacked a little bit off Brian Dable's offensive playbook a little bit. But then, of course, in Ken Dorsey's second year, McDermott wanted things to be different, right? He wanted to go 12 personnel. That's why he drafted Dalton Kincaid, right? He wanted to slow things up on the offense. So, no, I think we'll be just fine. I think we'll be just fine, bro. Of course he does. Josh Allen's still in his prime. He probably has another. He'll be 30 this year. He probably has at least another 5 years if there's no injury setbacks. Okay, and knock on wood, right? I think he still has at least 5 years in his prime, at least, and I think he probably has another 7 to 8 years of football left in him. And I'm only saying that because of the style of football he plays, guys. He could go on longer, but he's a physical quarterback, right? The way he plays is going to probably shorten his career a little bit, right? And his obviously his prime, right? So this isn't a Tom Brady thing where Tom Brady was a pocket passer. They protected him well, right? He didn't take a lot of hits, especially at the end of his career where the rules changed a little bit about how you hit a quarterback and all that stuff. So it actually helped prolong Tom Brady's career. Same with Peyton Manning. When he went to Denver, Peyton Manning was not the same Peyton Manning, but because they surrounded him with very good offensive line, they knew they needed to protect him well. He got through those last 2 years, right? Even as fucked up as his body was, he got through it, right? Barely, but he got the job done. He did get a Super Bowl in Denver. Yeah, I agree. Tommy, what direction does Buffalo go, offense or defense? I hope they go offense. I really do. I hope they get an offensive-minded head coach. But we'll find out, man. I have a feeling they have somebody in mind already. I just do. You know, they're gonna do their due diligence. They're gonna do some interviews. But I have a feeling they have a guy they're targeting. They have a specific guy they're targeting. I just have a feeling, man. I think the fumble by James Cook, Bills had a chance to go 14-3 or 10-3. Exactly. I think that started that downward kind of spiral for turnovers. That James Cook fumble was huge. Nobody wants to talk about it though, right? We all only want to talk about Josh Allen's fuck ups in that game, right? But nobody wants to bring up James Cook fumble. Nobody wants to talk about McCole Hardman's drop at the end of the game there that would have put us in field goal range. Nobody wants to talk about the bullshit call by the referees and the Brandon Cooks catch. Nobody wants to talk about Brandon Cooks being interfered with in the end zone, which would have put us at the 1, first and goal at the 1. In overtime, we would have won that game. Nobody wants to talk about that. We only want to, everyone wants to only talk about Josh Allen's interception or Josh Allen's fumble, right? But nobody understands that even with the interception, even with the fumble, the 2 fumbles, we still had an opportunity to win the game. And Allen still put the ball where it needed to be, and players simply just not catch the ball. Or referees simply did not make the right call. And we lost the game. So once again, yeah, Allen played a little bit a part of this, why we lost the game, but even with all that being said, we had an opportunity to win the game, right? And I promise you this, if we win that game, nobody's talking about Josh Allen's interception or phone. You know what we're saying? We're saying, oh, Allen needs to, got to clean that up for the next game. That's it. That's all you're saying. That's it. You're not saying Allen sucks. You know what? You're saying, damn, Allen made a great throw in overtime to McCole Hardman. Wow, Allen made a great throw to Brandon Cooks. What a great catch. What a great throw. Wow, Allen got us in field goal range to take us in overtime. Man, what a good quarter. That's what you guys would be saying. But because we lost, of course, oh, Allen sucks. Get the fuck out of here. Goodbye to Vibe, guys. Flores head coach and McDaniel OC. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it because even though I don't want a defensive-minded head coach, you're getting yourself McDaniel as OC, who's a very good OC, right? Creative, everything that Joe Brady wasn't, right? Not predictable, creative, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'd be down for that, for sure. Need offensive head coaches start boat racing teams, absolutely. Hope new coach has fortitude to throw shade at Bean for his mistakes. Watch your back, new coach. Listen, a new coach comes in, is going to have, once again, I'll say it again. When a new coach comes in, he's going to have a whole new vision, right? Matter of fact, look, this is how it normally goes, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, a GM hires the head coach. It's not the other way around like it was here in Buffalo. You guys do remember who hired Brandon Bean, right? Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott controlled everything. Sean McDermott was the puppet master here, right? Now Brandon Bean has the opportunity to go out, interview coaches, right? Sit down, talk with a head coach and go, what is your outlook for this team if we hire you? What is your vision? What is your scheme? What do you want? What do you see here? What do you see? What kind of offense would you put for Josh Allen? What kind of defense would you put out there? What would you like me as a GM to do for you? Right? What do you want me to go out there? What do you want me to do in free agency for you? What type of player would you want me to bring in this building? That's what a GM would ask. And guess what? If Brandon Bean gets the right answers, he's going to go, okay, I got you. And he's going to do just that. That's how it goes. It's not the other way around, right? Think about it. McDermott drafted in 2017. He was basically the GM at that draft. Then he hires Brandon Bean, and he tells him, this is how I'm doing it. This is my team. You're going to go out there and get the pieces I want. I'm going to be in part of every single draft. And by the way, all coaches do this. So this isn't anything new. I'm not blaming McDermott. I'm not saying McDermott's, the only coach to ever be heavily involved in drafts and free agent signing, right? And be in that, and ultimately have the decision, the last decision on the 53, right? This is all the league wide, right? But it's also not league wide. Normally, coaches don't go out there and hire GMs, right? So I think you're going to see a different side of Brandon Bean. I think Brandon Bean also needs to improve. I do. I'm not saying Brandon Bean's Mr. Perfect, guys. I think you're missing the point too on that. Brandon Bean needs to look at himself in the mirror and also say, what can I do better? How can I be better as a GM, right? And he will. I have faith in Brandon Beane. And you know who else has faith in Brandon Beane? That matters more. Matters more than what I have in him. Terry Bagula, the Bills owner, who gave him very high praise, right? So that's what, at the end of the day, matters more than anything. And McJoke eyes at 12 personnel. You don't need that good with just block 3. Yeah, it's crap. 2 plays by Allen were ridiculous. The fumble before the half, interception during the... Okay, so let's talk about that. Because people like to bring that up. And I'm not saying Allen's not partially to blame on the fumble before the half. However, why are you being aggressive at your own 30 with 15 seconds remaining on the clock with an offense that is not suited to go downfield that fast? We don't have playmakers on this team like, a Tyreek Hill or, a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase, where Allen, can make a deep ball, have somebody actually get open and make a play, and get us in field goal range within 15 seconds. So I don't know what Sean McDermott was even thinking about. Why are you being aggressive there? We're only down 17-10. We're getting the ball to start the second half. And you're going to be aggressive with 15 seconds on our own 30 with an offense that doesn't have any type of real, true, deep threat weapon? It didn't even make sense. So you're putting us in a bad predicament already. And then Allen was careless with the ball. Right? After all that said, the ball, but to be honest with you, that play should have never even happened. It should have been kneel down. You go into the half. Now, look, if there was a minute left, fine. I get it. Of course. There's time on the clock. We get you get a couple, you could kind of work downfield a little bit. You got a little bit more time to get in field goal range. I get that. But 15 seconds with no playmakers on the outside, you're not going to do anything. Well, what are you thinking? So, yeah, real stupid. Another McDermott dumbass decision. Babbage, the whole coaching staff is gone, bro. The whole coaching staff is gone. Like, that coaching staff, bro, kiss that coaching staff goodbye. Like, they go with McDermott. Matter of fact, McDermott's going to get hired somewhere, right? I promise you, a lot of those coaches are going to go with Sean McDermott wherever he goes. That's how it normally works. They pick, Ben Johnson, I think, took a couple of Lions coaches. They do that, right? And that was an offensive coordinator. Imagine a head coach gets fired who, let's be real. Sean McDermott's not a bum-ass coach. He's going to get hired. He's going to bring his staff with him, at least a lot of them, right? So I promise you, most of the staff are going to head wherever McDermott goes. They're not staying here. And I wouldn't want them to be here. Fuck that. You fire your coach, you fire everybody involved with that coaching. Tommy, with all due respect, they all made mistakes. Absolutely. I keep telling you guys this was a team loss. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, this wasn't just squarely on Josh, but people want to make it about him, right? Yes, he was part of the problem, but so was the defense. They gave up 33 points. We want to act like the defense was great. They gave up 33 points. Come on, man, with the defensive mind, 33 points? You should lose, right? Drop passes at the end that would have put us in field goal range to win the game. Josh Allen turnovers, yes. James Cook turnover when we would have went ahead 10-3 or 14-3, right? Nobody wants to talk about that. Miscues. Then referees, obviously, they're partially to blame too. So yeah, it was a lot to go around. No doubt about it. McDermott, stupid decision making before the half. McDermott, yes, playing scared. McDermott, what was his thing too? He coached not to lose instead of coaching to win. A McDermott special, right? He did it all the time, right? Played scared, played that soft zone bullshit, right? The defense never could get sacks like under McDermott's scheme. It was broken. The defense was broken. And him as a coach, it just, he crumbled in the worst moments, man. Yeah, Cook's fumble was huge, bro. People don't want to bring it up. Yeah, but what do we don't have here? We don't have speed. I mean, actually, we do. We did. I take that back. Like, people act like we don't have speed here. We did. We had Elijah Moore on the team with a 4.3, ran a 4.3. I'd say that's pretty fast. We had KJ Hamler, who also ran a 4.3. I'd say that's pretty fast. Like, you could have used these guys, and I'm not saying those guys were great receivers, but you could have used them in your offense. Like, if you have a good OC like McDaniel, he would have been like, okay, what can I do with Moore? What can I do with Hamler, right? What can I do with these guys, right? Because what do they have, that you can't teach? They got speed. Okay, all right, let's do this for him. Let me dial it up for him. Let's get him a couple plays a game doing this, right? Let's get him some jet sweeps. Let's get him some bubble screens here for this guy. Let's get him some quick slants, right? Let's get him some crossers, right? Like, let's get him over the top. Let's get him a couple games, maybe go over the top with him, right? Joe Brady never did that with these guys. Never. Didn't utilize them at all. Right? Matter of fact, didn't even keep them on a team. I'm telling you, Joe Brady did not understand player strengths. Did not get it. Yeah, McDermott hiring Bean. Yeah, like people don't realize like that's not usually how it goes. Right? McDermott absolutely controlled everything in that building, from coaching to players that he wanted, on that team. Absolutely. He wanted players that fit his vision, right? And he didn't, and the players that didn't, they were gone. You guys remember Quentin Spain? Right? Quentin Spain was a really good guard the prior year, right? The guy came out and said, yo, I want to be back in Buffalo. I told my agent, I don't even go around and talk to anybody else. This is the team I want to play for. He got it done. It was a good deal. And McDermott benches him after a game. And then he gets cut. Like, then McDermott tells Bean to cut him. What? And we put some garbage-ass guard in there. I don't even remember who it was. Somebody remind me who replaced Quentin Spain, because it was terrible. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was awful. Like, that's who you're replacing this guy with? That's who you thought would have did a better job? You guys remember Wyatt Teller? Should I remind you about Wyatt Teller? Who McDermott said, nah, I don't see a use for him here. Bobby Johnson said he's no good. We're not going to even probably keep him on the 53, to be honest with you, Bean. Go ahead and try to see what you can get for him. Stephon Diggs. He's not seeing my vision here. I got Brady now as OC, and we kind of want to do things a certain way. And this guy's kind of being a problem now because he doesn't understand the new offense. Can you get rid of him? I know you just paid him. I know the fans aren't going to be happy, but I have no use for him anymore. Right? Matter of fact, you guys also remember the offseason at camp where Sean McDermott gets on the podium and says, Stephon Diggs is a no-show today. Didn't show up. And then Stephon Diggs says, huh? What? Gets home and says, this guy's fucking lying. I was there. What the fuck is this guy talking about? He sent me home. I was there. He sent me home. How are you going to have a meeting, by the way, with Stephon Diggs, Sean McDermott, and no OC at the time? You're going to leave you're going to talk about the future of the team with Stephon Diggs and what this offense is about, and leave your offensive coordinator out of the room. What? Right? And then you wonder why you're having an issue with Stephon Diggs, why you guys aren't seeing eye to eye. Are you fucking kidding me? And you guys want to sit here and talk about why we don't have a number one? We don't have a number one because Sean McDermott wanted our number one off the team. because he believed that we could do better without him than with him. How'd that go? Right? I'll tell you how it went. Stephon Diggs is probably going to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen hasn't even been. How'd that go? Huh? Didn't take too long, did it, guys? Belichick was GM and was lucky to have Brady. Brady finally got frustrated with him. I agree. At the end there, I'll tell you what was Belichick's problem at the end with New England. He was GM and coach. And I think he has an ego, and he should. I'll be honest with you. He's a Super Bowl winning head coach, multiple Super Bowls. Right? What do they have? 6 over there? 5, 6, whatever they got. But GM, yeah, he wasn't necessarily doing a great job there at the end, right? Of bringing in players, right? If he would have just been, if they would have took that away from him and just been head coach, I think he would have been all right, man. But it happens, man. It happens. I still think Belichick is a good coach, but I don't know if his time has passed him either. So that's all. I'd be a little bit on the fence about it. But once again, I don't know if I would hate it. You know what I mean? But I don't think I really honestly don't think he's even in the talks of being a head coach here. Tommy, but what if they ended up getting in field goal range, kick a field goal at halftime? Well, dude, spin. You know what I'm going to hit you with, bro? You know what I'm going to hit you with, right?
That just seems like a clickbait question. That's pretty lazy. Next question, please.
I'm just going to leave it at that, bro. Just going to leave it at that, dude. I mean, come on, Spin. Come on, man. I'm going to leave it just like that, bro. Because Big Joke felt the pressure. You could tell he was coaching for his job, and maybe that's true. But I did not see it happening, guys. I got to be honest with you. Thurman Thomas, head coach. Nah, fire all the coaches. They will. All the coach. The coaching staff's gone, guys. And when the head coach gets fired, whenever a new head coach is hired, he brings his own coaching staff. Right? That's the whole. It's been that way for years, right? It's very rare do position coaches stick around, right? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Sometimes maybe one or two might stick around, but for the most part, head coaches want to bring their own staff in, guys that they're familiar with, right? So the chances of anyone sticking around is slim to none. I got to be honest with you guys. And really, honestly, what position coach here that you could sit here and say, yeah, like that guy needs to stick around? The only guy was Aaron Cromer, and he retired. So they can all go kick rocks, man, to be honest with you. Chris Brown, that called the Bill game, said it wasn't the defense's fault. Once again, I'm not saying it was just strictly on anyone in particular. I think this was a team loss. I got to be real with you guys. The defense wasn't great either, though. So Chris Brown saying that, like if I'm Chris Brown, I'm saying what I'm saying here with you guys. This was a total team loss. The defense gave up 33 points. He's acting like the defense gave up, 17 points, and we lost 17, 13 or something. Like, fine, I'd be on board with that. Like, I'd be like, all right, yeah, the defense held the Denver Broncos to 17 points, and we only got 13 on offense. Like, I would totally get on board with that. But that's not the case. They gave up 33 points. Like, that's a lot of points. What are we talking about here? Were they better in the second half? Sure. But they weren't perfect. They weren't perfect at all. Matter of fact, when the Bills went up 4, they let the Denver Broncos go down, score a touchdown right away. So what are you talking about? Did the Bills not get the lead late in that game, guys, with 2 minutes left? Or am I missing something? Or was it 3 minutes left? I think it was like a 2 and change. But am I missing something? Did the defense hold on strong there at the end? They gave up a touchdown right away. And with 55 seconds left, actually 50 after the kick return, Josh Allen led that team down for a field goal to take it in overtime. Chris Brown, what are you talking about? Like the defense were phenomenal. They gave up a touch. The offense took the lead. The defense gave up the lead right away. And then the defense gave up the game-winning field goal. What are you talking about? Oh, my God. It's wild. It was a team loss, man. People are driving me insane, man. And I'm losing my voice. Tommy, do you think we could bring an edge rusher that could sack the quarterback? I hope. I also think, you know what, though? I also think it was scheme-related because we've had players that left here that have played better. Poona Ford, Tim Settle, right? Look at our old player that went to Houston and got more sacks than Jerry Hughes, right? Remember when Jerry Hughes left here and we were all like, oh, he's washed? But he went to Houston and had more sacks than he did with us the year prior. They actually had a really good year with Houston that year. Different defense, different defensive scheme. Sean McDermott's defense was broken, bro. It was broken. I pray Josh retires this offseason and sees who the Bills blame next season. Josh had a poor receiver room for 3 years. Yeah, I'm with you, Robert. I hope he retires because guess what, Robert? We're getting a new head coach. This is great fucking news. This is great news for Josh Allen, actually, because I think this is gonna motivate him even more. I'll be honest with you, because think about it. He's going to be a little upset about, obviously, Sean McDermott, because I'm sure he has a really good relationship with him, right? After, he's been on the team for 8 years, Josh, right? Obviously, you're going to build a relationship with their head coach, right? And I think it was a good one. But Josh has always moved on from, right when Dable left, right? He was upset about that. But, hey, next to Ken Dorsey got fired. He's upset about that. But Brady came. He's cool with Brady. He got on board with Brady, right? So, look, man, I think whatever coach gets hired, he's going to make that phone call to Josh. Yo, Josh, this is so-and-so. Man, this is what I'm excited to be your head coach. I'm excited for the opportunity, and I have a lot of plans for you in this offense. We're going to get this thing going, man. We're gonna get a Super Bowl here in Buffalo. Trust me, Josh is going to back that. He's going to be motivated even more. When the new OC gets hired, whoever that might be, is also going to give Josh a call. Josh, man, we're going to surround you with this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this for you, man. You deserve better. We got your back. You don't think Josh is going to go, you think Josh is going to be like, whatever. Bro, Josh Allen's going to be like, okay, this is what I want to hear. Yes, right? A new voice, a new outlook, right? A new direction, right? Josh is definitely going to get on board with that. Why wouldn't you? Like this, and you guys as fans should be excited for that too. I can't wait for whoever gets hired to sit at that podium and tell us what their vision is for this team, what they're going to do differently, what they're going to surround Josh Allen with, right? What their idea is about where they see this team going as far as offense and defense and just scheme in general, right? Like, what kind of coach is going to come here? What matters to this coach the most, right? And I hope what matters the most is surrounding Josh Allen with pieces and talent, right? And building around your core piece, which is Josh Allen, right? And McDermott never did that. McDermott built around his defense. It was defense. He never truly understood that I have a franchise quarterback here. I need to build around my franchise quarterback. I need to make it where we have this, everything's built around this guy. We're going to make this guy happy. He never had that thought process. Never. And you need to when you have a guy like that in the building, in Josh Allen. You have to. And I don't think Sean McDermott ever got behind that. Like Deion Walker. Deion Walker's good. Yep, I like Deion. Deion was actually surprising. I know Keon Coleman isn't selling him like it's 1999. Keon's gone. I'd be shocked if Keon Coleman stays here. Whatever coach comes here. Unless the coach comes here, I'll tell you what. Unless the coach gets here, because when the coach gets here, he's going to evaluate the roster right away. You know he is. He's going to sit down in the room with Brandon Beane, and they're going to evaluate everything. The coach is going to go, well, whatever, offensive coordinator he brings on board, this is what I want to do. This guy does not fit the scheme. I don't like this guy's attitude. I don't think he's a good fit here for what I want. And Brandon Beane's going to go, okay, I agree with that. Let's go ahead and move on from him. Let's go on move for him. Let's trade him. Let's see what we can do about this player, right? And let's start with the free agency. Let's start with the draft. Guys, you should be on board with this. You should be excited about this. This is great. This is wonderful. I'm excited, man. I'm losing my voice, dude. I got to go back on tonight at 10. As much as I don't like Dawkins at time, Cameron caught him, and Edwards was getting into this year. Edwards was not good. Seeing Anderson play, rather give him a chance. Yeah, bro. Edwards too. What the fuck, bro? On that fumble, bro. There's nobody by you. You were the only one by the football. How the fuck do you not recover that fumble? It's right, bro. Get your fat ass on the ground and get that fumble. There's nobody by you. How do you not get that? Even Allen was like, bro, you got it, right? Oh, my God. No, you got to move on from Edwards, too, man. And honestly, I wouldn't be on board with paying McGovern either. Those two guys are probably gone anyway, so you move on from those two guys. If it's a bad decision, then it's a bad decision whether the results are successful or negative. That's not true, Spin. That's not true, man. That's why really the question that you presented was, I really didn't feel like answering because it's ridiculous. You do stuff because decision making like that, you have to factor in everything, right? It's not just let's just go for it because that's what we do here. We're gonna go for it. We're going to be aggressive. Like you that's not how you play. That's not how you do play football, right? Like you could be aggressive if you have the offense, if you have the talent to do so. Do you really felt like we could drive down the field with 15 seconds with the talent that we had? We could barely drive down the field. In general, we had struggles. At that point, we only had 10 points. Right? 10 points. You act like we were scoring at will, right? Like, if the offense was really going down the field with ease, and Brandon Cooks was just catching everything, and he was wide open, and Jalen was throwing deep, and no issues at all, and Keon was making plays, and Khalil Shakir was going, like, we were getting these chunk yards every single time. Then I would say, you know what? Yeah, the way the game flow is going, the Denver Broncos cannot stop us. Brandon Cooks is getting wide open. We're getting these chunky yards. Yeah, let's throw a first down, 15 seconds. Let's go a 25-yard pass right away. No, that game flow wasn't going like that. I'm a true believer in game flow, right? How a game is going up until that point. It should go into your decision making, right? That's how I believe, right? And at that point, our offense was not going well. We had 10 points. Turnovers, right? We weren't necessarily driving downfield with ease. We weren't getting these huge chunk yards, right? Why would you think all of a sudden now you're going to get them with 15 seconds left? Stop. You go into halftime, you regroup, you got the ball in the second half anyway. So yes, it was a bad decision. And of course, it's very easy to say, but what if, maybe Cooks gets, maybe he does. But the chances that he does is slim because it didn't happen a lot, especially in the first half. So yeah, I'll go with how the game flow's going, bro. It was a bad decision. But what, dude, you have your opinion, I have mine, man. I mean, we're going to go from there. I'll leave it at that, dude. Josh, 110 turnovers and 301 touchdowns. Okay, yeah, that's pretty damn good. I'll take it. Remember, too, Robert, Josh, early on in his career, was a little bit more careless with the ball, right? He's gotten way better down the stretch of his career, limiting those turnovers. This year, I say a little bit more. But you got to remember, man, the one thing about Josh is, he tries to do a little bit too much because he doesn't have a lot to work with. And sometimes that gets him in trouble. right? And of course, we wish as fans that he wouldn't necessarily do that, right? But at times too, sometimes he makes special plays out of nothing, and we're like, damn, we're all behind it. We love it, right? But you got to take the good with the bad sometimes when it comes to Josh, right? That's just the nature of it. But I honestly feel like if they surround him with better talent, build an offense that best suits him, you're going to see those turnovers drop. You are, right? Dude, I don't want Josh Allen always being our running back on 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts, right? I don't. How about let's get a bruising running back? How about get a bigger RB2 so we don't have to continue to have Josh be that guy? You know what I mean? Like, let's get him some help. That's all. Let's get a little less pressure off Josh Allen, right? That's why it is a team sport, no? I mean, I don't know why people don't understand that. I'm excited for a new coach. Yeah, bro, all of you guys should be excited. Yeah, they are getting rid of Samuel. And I hope they get rid of Josh Palmer too. I don't care if you got to take a hit on that, and they will. But Palmer provided nothing for this team. Absolutely nothing. Kincaid is good, but never plays 2 games in a row. That's the problem. I like Kincaid. I do. Problem is he can't stay healthy. They're gonna, more than likely what happens with Kincaid, he'll finish out his rookie deal and he'll move on. I would be shocked if the Bills re-sign Dalton Kincaid. He just can't stay healthy. You got to have players on the field, bro. I don't care what your talent is. If you can't be on the field, then you're useless. To see Teron Johnson gone, so happy the league. Yeah, bro, Teron Johnson, he regressed, and I like Teron Johnson, but boy, I don't know what happened to him, man. This year was a tough year for him. People need to understand McDermott did not get fired just because of this game. That is actually correct. I think this is just years of not getting the job done, which is obviously a Super Bowl, right? And a lot of mistakes along the way because of Sean McDermott. A lot of poor decision making by Sean McDermott. And there's also a lot of stuff that we may know and may not know. We all know that article. I'm sure not all of it is true. I'm sure some of it is a little bit blown out of proportion, but I guarantee you there's a lot of stuff that is true, right? And I'm sure Terry Bagula is aware of these things, right? And I'm sure that also played a factor in why Sean McDermott got fired as well. Like, I promise you. And I also promise you that he heard from, or seen that coaches that left here that got fired, that Sean fired, or coaches that just did not want to be around Sean McDermott anymore and left for other teams. I'm sure that also played a factor. Trust me. I'm sure that also Sean McDermott not taking accountability for his team losing in the playoffs or losses in the regular season. I'm sure that also played a part of it, right? You got to take accountability, right? It can't be all about your quarterback. It can't be all about Josh Allen going to the podium every single playoff loss and putting the blame always on him, right? Because that's what it was all about. Guys, let's be real. Josh Allen took the blame every single time, even when he shouldn't have been blamed, right? You guys know this. Come on now. Every single playoff loss, Josh Allen stepped to that podium, even if you played a great game, and said, I could have done better. I should have done better. I can't do this. I can't do that, right? I feel like I let my team down every single time. I don't hear that from Sean McDermott. Never heard of that, Sean McDermott. Matter of fact, he never even talked about 13-second games, so tells you everything you need to know. I think Bean should have been the guy fired here. Yeah, Raven. Well, no offense, and I love you because you're a loyal subscriber to this channel and you always hear. But I follow my team. You follow your team. You know what I mean. Like I'm not going to comment about John Harbaugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't know your team like you know your team. I know my team, bro, and I know what was going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? At least what I see. Now, maybe some fans think differently, but no, McDermott needed to go over Bean, absolutely. Now, I did go on record saying, hey, if you fire McDermott and they fire Bean too, if that was a bundle thing, like it needed to happen, if like Terry Bagula said, well, if I fire one, I'm fire both, or I'm not going to fire either one, like fine, like I would have been okay with that too, but I don't think Bean was the problem. I really don't. I've watched this team, like I said, I've been a fan since '89. I'm a diehard fan. I pay attention to the ins and outs, man, as best as I can on his team. I read a lot of articles. I know a lot, trust me when I tell you this. And that's why I don't personally, say too much about other teams, because I'm not their fan base. I don't really know the ins and outs, right? I'm not studying the team like a diehard Raven fan would, like you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I wouldn't comment on things I don't know too much about, right? Or only on some articles I read, right? That's my feeling. So I disagree with your take, and that's the reason why I disagree with your take, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I'm not shitting on your take or anything like that. I'm just letting you know how I feel. Bean is the president of the team now. He is. So his voice goes on the roster and personnel now. Exactly. So you're going to find out. Listen, here's the deal. We're going to find out what Bean's about now. Like, this is it. This is his moment, right? It's for me, it's kind of a do or die situation here for Brandon Bean as far as his job, right? Like, put up or shut up, right? Like, I'm backing him. Mikey's going to back him. There's some fans that aren't, and I get that. And some fans that will, right? But this is it, right? He's going to, and hopefully he proves to the doubters that he could do his job and do it effectively. I believe in him. I really do. I don't think he's perfect. I think he's made mistakes. I think he needs to look in the mirror and say to himself, what can I do better? How can I be a better GM moving forward? And I believe he will do that. And everybody that wants to keep talking about the WGR thing, that's all you can bring up, because what else do you have to say? Right? And once again, we've all been in that situation, right, before. All of us. Every single person here that I'm talking to, we've all had our bad moments. We've all done things that were were uncharacteristic, right, of ourselves, right? That maybe we blew up on somebody that we shouldn't have. Maybe we took things the wrong way or took things out of context, right? And we regretted it later down the line. Maybe we said something to our family or friends we shouldn't have in the heat of the moment, right? And we regret it. But that's not our character, right? We know this, right? Come on now. You guys can't sit here and say Brandon Bean is this, terrible person. God, he's a smug guy. Like, when? Outside of that moment, I've never seen nothing like that from Brandon Bean. Brandon Bean's been a stand-up guy. He's been on interviews with Pat McAfee. He's been on interviews with WGR plenty of times, with podcasts. The dude is a nice dude. He comes off to me as a nice guy. He had one bad moment, and we're going to go, oh, man, this guy's a fucking asshole. Like, okay, you know what, man? If we can go back to everybody's life, I promise you, I'll find a moment in time where you fucked up, where you said something you shouldn't have said. Right? Or a moment that you regretted, that maybe something you did that you were like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. So come on, man. Once again, man, we're human. We make mistakes. All of us. He made his mistake, and I'm sure he understands that. He's not perfect. Nobody's perfect in life. Right? But I believe in him. I believe that he'll go out there and find us a good head coach. And I'm excited for the future. I'm excited that we're going into a new stadium with a new head coach. I'm excited for Josh Allen, right? I can't wait for Josh to get that to receive that phone call from our new head coach, and maybe and then the offense coordinator, right? And trust me when I tell you guys, Josh is going to be excited. Like, you can't tell me that Josh won't be excited for the future now, right? A new voice, a new vision, a new direction. And trust me when I tell you, the offensive coordinator is going to call him and go, bro, Josh, we're going to do this for you, man. We're going to build around you. We're going to do this. We're going to do this, right? It's going to get him pumped up. I promise you. So, guys, I'm out of here. I've been on here 2 hours. Yeah, and it might have been. But I'll be back at 10. But I had to come on here and talk about the McDermott firing. It was the right decision in my book. It was the right decision to keep Brandon Bean in my book. I think you're going to see, once again, a re-energized Brandon Bean, a re-energized Josh Allen once we get this new coaching staff put together. And I think the fans should be all behind this. I really do. And get excited for a new year, a new look, a new vision, everything. Like we needed this. We needed this. And this, guys, by the way, this is not, this isn't a rebuild, right? By any means, right? This is just us getting away from the old voice in the room, bringing in a new voice with a new direction, and that you should get behind that. So I'm excited. You guys should be excited. I will see you guys tonight at 10 p.m. Monday Night Uncensored. Mikey is going to be super excited to talk football tonight because he was not. He was just like, after that loss and another year with McDermott coming up, like, But, dude, I think Mikey even is going to be excited. Vader, real quick, I'll get with the last comment. I think it's very likely we miss the playoffs next year. A whole new system. Yeah, I don't. Vader, I disagree. I totally disagree. I said it, and I said it before a million times. I think you get Rex Ryan back here, and we would still be a playoff team. I don't buy into that. I think Josh Allen proved to you this year that even with the lack of talent, even with not the greatest head coach in the world, and Sean McDermott, I'm not saying he was bad, but let's be real. Even with the Joe Brady, who I did not like as OC, right? With this whole new scheme that they were running over the last 2 years, even with all that being said, right? Even with us having to go and find receivers off the fucking streets, we still got to the playoffs. We still won 12 games. Come on, man. Come on. How about 2019? Josh Allen was still ripe, right? Still, didn't fix his mechanics yet. Still raw, right? Didn't have, just got Cole Beasley, just got John Brown, right? Still kind of learning the system. Got us to the playoffs. Come on, man. I'm just saying, like, look, you got Josh Allen, you're going to win 10 games. That's just my opinion. I'm going to stick to that opinion. And if you win 10 games, you're making the playoffs. So I don't care what coach gets here. I expect playoffs. I expect playoffs right away. This team is not going to regress because we're getting a new head coach. I don't believe that. I don't buy that. I think Brandon being smart enough to get here, get a coach here that knows what the fuck he's doing. Matter of fact, you want to talk about coaching? How about New England Patriots, who were one of the worst football teams last year in 2024? They go ahead and get Vrabel, and they almost are the best team in the AFC this year. They win the division. And come on, they had a brand new head coach. They had a brand new coaching staff. What happened to them? Did they have did they revert? Did they go backwards? Right? Did they lose a lot of games? No. They did the opposite. How about Ben Johnson, the Chicago Bears? How about that team? Missed the playoffs the year prior. Ben Johnson gets there. They almost beat the fucking Rams. That's a whole new team. That's a whole new coaching staff. That's a whole new everything. Whole new playbook, all everything. It's about coaching. Coaching absolutely matters, guys. Absolutely. So you get. I don't think that Brandon Beane's going to hire some bum ass coach. And like I said, even if the coach comes in here and he's the same as Sean McDermott, which is good but not great, he's going to make this team a playoff team. And I still, like I said, if you have a player like Josh Allen, who's better than Caleb Williams, who's better than all these other, better than Sam Darnold, who's the elite of the elite, you're probably going to win 10 games even with an average, just good head coach. That's my opinion. So, but I also don't think they're going to bring some bum-ass coach in here. So, guys, get excited. Get excited, man. 2026 season is dude, I can't fucking wait. New stadium, new head coach. Dude, guys, the farewell tour was real. Huh? That should be, you know what? That's going to be my title for tonight. Farewell. Farewell, Ralph Rich Stadium. Farewell, Sean McDermott. Farewell, Joe Brady. Farewell, Bobby Babbage. Bye. Bye. I feel like they're going off on a ship, and I'm just on land. Bye. It was good seeing you. Now get the fuck out of here. Bye. Oh my God. Anyways, guys, I'll see you at 10, man. I appreciate you guys rocking with me, man. As always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Bills Mafia, I love you. Go Bills. Peace.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through. Just let